Hello everyone, my name is Shrikant Singh. Welcome to our channel Happy Belly Fish, and today I'm going to give you an anatomy class of masala chai. But of course it just won't be a theory. You will also learn how to make your very own masala chai spice mix and how to use it. Wait, why not just the recipe? Why do I need to understand what's going on at the background? Why do I need to know everything? Simply because we all like things our own way, at least when it is something special such as chai. And also because you might want to flavor your chai differently depending on the time of the day and on your mood. You might also have a strong dislike towards a particular spice. So instead of hunting for a perfect recipe, look for ways to understand the recipe and making it your own. You find the masala chai in the stores that are usually finely ground. The most common ingredients are dry ginger, cassia, cinnamon, cardamom, fennel seeds, nutmeg, star anise and black pepper. And that's why you need to make your own masala chai recipe that you can store in a jar and use whenever you feel like making chai. There is a video on masala chai that I had made ages ago. Please check it out, and there you will see how you add these ingredients separately to your tea. You will find the link in the description of this video. Also, please do not forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell notification icon so that you never miss out on what's cooking in our kitchen. The masala chai that I'm going to make today has 1 tablespoon or 12 to 15 pods of green cardamom, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, half a tablespoon of clove and 2 inches of cassia. These 4 spices should be enough. You need to grind them coarsely. If you're using a blender, just give it short pulses and don't grind it into a fine powder. If you're doing it the hard way with a mortar and pestle, do your best and you'll get your results. It is a great workout, trust me. If you have a strong granite kitchen top, then you can pound the spices. Otherwise, apply some pressure and grind it like how I'm doing it here. There is also one more additional spice. It is optional because it is not easy to find it in every corner of the world. In India and surrounding, it is a common spice. It's called as Tejpat or Indian bay leaf. And I don't know why it got the surname of bay leaf, because it has no familiarity or similarity with the laurel bay leaf that you often use in your kitchen. They both taste completely different, so one thing cannot substitute for the other. This has subtle flavors of clove and cinnamon, but it also gives a bit of woody flavor. So if you have it, then just cut it at the end and add it to your masala chai mix. And if you do not have it, it's okay to have 1 or 2 spices missing. Nothing's gonna break down here. One thing to remember here is that you do not have to roast the spices before mixing. Just grind them and store it in a jar and make sure you shake it well before use. You might wonder, won't a finer grind give a more uniform flavor? Yes, it will. If you're not bothered by the texture of finely ground spices in your chai, go ahead and make it into a fine powder. But I like to have the spices coarse because I really hate this chalky flavor in the chai. But there's more to it. You can add optionally half a tablespoon of dry ginger powder to this mix. But honestly, if you can add fresh ginger to your tea, it will take a little bit of extra work, but the difference will be remarkable and you will notice it. So that becomes your 6th spice, but it is optional, and the reason is that ginger is not something everyone wants to have or should have due to certain medical conditions. So even though a food may be called as a healing or a super healthy food, you need to check if it actually suits your body or not. If you like a tea to have a more calming effect on you or on someone, then you can just add cardamom and cinnamon. You can skip the pepper and cloves. If you are tired after a long day of work and want that extra push because your toddler is wanting that extra attention from you, or you're stuck in this endless winter, then you can add pepper, cloves and ginger. So the recipe that I've given, you must have noticed that the yield is pretty less. Like you might use it for maybe 2 or 3 times and it will be done. And the reason for that is because it's a guideline. It's for you to understand if you want too much pepper or not, if you want the clove to be there or not, if you want any other spice to be there or not in this. That comes when you try it on your own. You have to make this and understand that, okay, probably a little more cardamom would be nicer for me, or maybe I just need this extra power, so I'll add more pepper to it, or maybe I have cold, this is winter, and accordingly you can make your own masala chai mix. And now if you're wondering, why do people even drink masala chai? And it comes because there are a lot of medicinal value to each of the spice that you're adding. Probably it all started with just ginger tea, because it's really great, like it's a great thing to have, especially when you have cold. And the other thing is that ginger is also anti-inflammatory, so it's a great way of actually consuming ginger. Now cardamom, which is an expensive spice, so you will not see people using a lot of it in their chai in everyday drinking. But cardamom is sweet and highly aromatic. So you can make chai just with cardamom. If you don't want any other spice in your masala chai, just cardamom. You want this sweet aromatic tea, then just use cardamom, nothing else. Having just cardamom chai is actually something that gives you a very pleasant and a very calming experience. Cardamom also regulates the caffeine in your chai. True cinnamon or Ceylon cinnamon can help in lowering blood sugar as it helps in increasing insulin sensitivity. If you are having true cinnamon, then this is true. But if you are using cassia, then it isn't. And that's because cassia and cinnamon are not the same. And the active compound piperine in black pepper is a potent source of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds. So who says chai is unhealthy, right? The next time you buy a masala chai spice blend, you will understand the ingredients better, and you will also notice that there are a few more spices there like fennel seeds, star anise and nutmeg. I personally dislike the taste of star anise and fennel in tea, so I avoid it. And I add nutmeg very rarely. I prefer nutmeg in my cappuccino instead of chai. And that is why I said at the beginning that it is very important to learn how to make your own spice blends. Not just this one, but many others. And if you want to learn more about spices, if spices have always made you curious, if you want to up your game or even learn from the basics, then make sure you check out our website happybellyfish.com. Okay, now that you have the spice mix ready, how do you use it? You just can't sniff it. Right? You just can't stare at it. You need to actually do something with it. To get the maximum flavor of chai, you need to brew the masala you have just made in boiling water for about 3 to 4 minutes. This masala is not something that you sprinkle on top of your chai and call it masala chai. That's not how you make it. And if you decide that you want ginger in your chai, you can do it along with the masala. So boil it along with the masala in your chai and you will have a ginger flavor chai. The longer you boil, the stronger the flavor of the ginger will be. When the aroma is strong enough, then add the tea leaves and boil it for another 3 to 4 minutes. And you will start noticing that the tea is starting to ooze out of the pot. And that's when you lower the flame and then add the milk. Most common ratio is 1 cup milk for 1 cup of water. And because you're boiling, a lot of water will also be lost in vapor. So you will eventually be left with a little more than 1 cup of tea. Bring this to a boil and add jaggery and brew it for another 3 to 4 minutes. If you're wondering what jaggery is, it is raw cane sugar. It is unrefined, and unlike white sugar, it has a lot of medicinal properties. If you're looking to replace white sugar with something healthier, then this is a good choice. Jaggery is not just made from sugar cane. It can also be made from other palm trees. So you have a lot of varieties when it comes to jaggery. But the tastiest jaggery that goes very well, blends in very well with the chai, is in my opinion the jaggery that comes from sugarcane. And you will find these in blocks in the market. I'm trying to answer a lot of questions here because the masala chai video that we had, people had a lot of questions. One more common question that I often get asked is if I can use honey. You can, and if you are doing so, then add the honey to the cup of tea and not to the pot in which you're cooking your masala chai. Now, the most important reason is that you should never cook honey. And if I start talking about that topic, it will become a completely different monologue. So let's just leave it there. Talking about tea leaves here, I'm not an expert when it comes to the thousands of varieties of tea leaves that are available. But when it comes to masala chai, the best tea or the tea leaf that you can use here are the strong blends of black tea such as Assam tea or Ceylon tea. But if you like something very subtle, then you can choose Darjeeling tea or its blends. Alright, so that was a very big anatomy class of masala chai, and I hope you have enjoyed it. When you make it, remember that chai is your personal signature. You might add more or less of a particular spice. You might drink it hot or cold, add it to some other creations. You might even add it to your hibiscus tea and drink it with no milk. Whatever you do let me know in your comments how it came out and if you did something special or different. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you soon in the next video.